is a place for us all.
A land of countless stories.
Ready to be told.
Ready to be heard.
Listen to each other. Share your story.
Wonderful, beautiful Canada.
When you are ready,
Let's take a step forward.
Let's take a step forward.
Learn the lessons of past wrongs.
In community,
In memory.
with humility.
On Canada Day and every day.
Celebrate each other. The strength of our diversity.
Our desire for inclusion.
with open minds and open hearts.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. It is with tremendous pleasure that I welcome you all to our 2022 Canadian Multicultural Day online event. My name is Mary Ashok, founder and managing director of Dancing Damsels. At the outset, we acknowledge the land we are meeting on is a traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by the Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Before I welcome our talented orators for today, I would like to take a moment of your time to talk about the importance of multiculturalism and how our organization plays a role in supporting it. According to the Oxford Dictionary, multiculturalism is the presence of or support for the presence of several distinct cultural or ethnic groups within a society. However, multiculturalism is more than just a concept that cannot be defined in a dictionary. It has to do with the emotional connection of people with their cultures and their roots. Acknowledging and appreciating our cultural differences and cohesively living despite our diverse backgrounds is what multiculturalism is all about. On October 8, 1971, Canada became the first country in the world to adopt multiculturalism as an official policy. So, one might ask, why is multiculturalism so important to us? Multiculturalism helps us to preserve our culture with our whole hearts and freedom. It provides a recognition for our culture while teaching us to creatively exchange between cultural groups. It provides a recognition for our culture while teaching us to accept, and it creates a much more peaceful society for all of us to live in. Overall, multiculturalism is important because it builds a bridge between cultures and dissipates the divisiveness of ignorance while bringing people together. Dancing Damsels has supported multiculturalism through various events in the past, and we continue to do so. Some of the past events include International Women's Day to honor women of different walks of life, International Music Festival, and the International Dance Festival that brings together the art forms of various cultures and encourage multiculturalism. We want everyone to feel included, appreciated, confident, and given the same opportunities. Ultimately, we would love to be the bridge that brings cultures together. I would like to welcome you all once again to our 2022 Canadian Multicultural online event. So at this point, we would like to request each of you to stand for the Canadian National Anthem. Thank you.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patron love in all thy sons command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise
Thank you. Okay, we have an interesting lineup of speakers and entertainments. So, without further ado, let's get into the program. Let me introduce our lovely host, Sahana Ram Shankar. Sahana is going to her fourth year in honors biology and business minor at McMaster University. She has always been interested in health and wellness of others and strives to build a career in healthcare. Her thesis project, which focuses on environmental factors affecting the health of species, has been approved by McMaster, and she will be working alongside her professor to bring success to this project. Wow, congratulations. Also, her passion for community engagement is why she volunteers at Acclaim Health and many other clubs at her university. She is also training in Indian classical dance for more than 12 years, and her love for this art form is only getting bigger. Very impressive, Sahana, and welcome to the program. I'm going to leave you at the able hands of Sahana, folks. Take it away, Sahana.
Thank you so much, Mary. That was really nice of you. So, for a little bit about myself, is I was born in India actually, and then I moved here at the age of like 11. So
Wow.
I greatly value the importance of like multiculturalism in Canada because it has personally helped me a lot. So I'm very much excited to be a part of this event and just help bring people of various walks of life together, right? So without further ado, let's jump into this event. So first we have our keynote speaker, Dr. Brenda Beck. So she is a Canadian anthropologist and a researcher and an exporter of Tamil culture. She has published around 8 books and has written around 60 journal articles. She's very passionate about Tamil culture, especially South Asian mythology and Tamil folk stories. So for this tremendous work of hers, she has received several awards from various Tamil communities in the US, Canada, India, Sri Lanka, and more. And now, everyone, let us welcome Dr. Brenda Beck.
I've been asked to say a few words about multiculturalism, and it's wonderful the support that Canada is giving, and it's very, very relevant to our lives today and all the difficulties around the world, all the migration and immigration. We need to expand and better understand multiculturalism. And as was said at the beginning, storytelling is one of the best ways to understand each other's thinking, not just foods and dress and sort of the visual aspects of festivals, but looking a little deeper, how some of our thinking is a little bit different and how we can all grow from exchanging those ideas. And so I'm told to keep this very short. So I just thought I'd take a small example of the sun and the moon. That's something that we all share all around the world, but ways of understanding the sun and the moon vary quite a bit. And I thought I'd just give you one surprising example from South India that probably most of you, maybe even all of you, have not encountered. Next slide. Next slide, please. In middle India, right across 5 or 6 states, there's an important native original indigenous community called the Gonds. And this is a tapestry from our museum right here in Toronto, the Ram, showing a mother boar and 2 sons, a Gond tapestry. The mother boar is an aspect of Vishnu, is blue, and she has 2 sons. She's like Varaha, the incarnation of Vishnu. One son is darker and is the moon or the sun, the night version of the sun. The other is lighter skinned and is the brightness of day and the heat and strength of the sun. So next slide, please. Well, how do you relate a boar to the sun and the moon? Well, it's not so hard to understand the link to the moon because the boar has these tusks, which look very much like a crescent moon. Next slide, please. But how do you relate the boar to the sun? Well, here's an example from the Tulunad in Karnataka, a folk festival, and actually you can see this head on the front porch of many, many homes in Tulunad. It's a boar with his sort of ruff or hairs standing up on his neck. Boars have very stiff hairs, and when they get excited, those hairs stand up. And if he happens to be backlit, they give this beautiful halo effect around the head. And so suggesting that the boar is the bright sun and also the nighttime sun. So we have a very interesting and complex way of representing the sun and the moon, both through the idea of the boar. Next slide. And there's a small shrine, actually in a rather substantial temple, not very far from where I did most of my early field work, in a town called Vellakoville. It's a beautiful shrine with the sun as a baby child. And you can see it here in the middle, garlanded. And why is the sun a baby? Well, it's in a sense a baby every morning, but it's basically a baby at the winter solstice, at the Makara Sankranti, where the sun, as you know, changes course and turns back and starts going north once more for the 6 months that follow. And so we have a kind of idea of the nighttime sun and the daytime sun combined in this shrine. And if I can have the next slide. I've added the boar's head to the moon and to the sun so that you can see here the sun is rising as a new baby, but it has also its previous ancestors, if you like, were the boar. And so what I'm trying to communicate here is the idea that the sun and the moon have, in this cultural tradition, a complex, interesting metaphor, which is that of the boar. And we can learn a lot that relates to our present challenge with climate and with ecology, because we're having heavier rains and we're also having too much sun and a lot of drought. And there seems to be oscillating back and forth between what is life-giving about the sun and the rain, but also what can be life-threatening about these two very important aspects of everyone's life. So my sense is that if we exchange and talk about different metaphors that different cultures have to help us understand this oscillation between rain and sun, between night and day, and the different personalities that these celestial powers can take on, it will help us better talk about and dramatize through dance and through art the understanding of these forces that control much of our lives. Last slide, please. And I also wanted to reference a very interesting little tiny detail about Tamil culture, which expresses all of this, which is the word Karmeham. It's a name, it means dark cloud or even black cloud. But here in English-speaking countries and cultures, we would never name a child Black Cloud because it would be a very negative kind of name. But in Tamil Nadu, to call a child Karmeham means it's a praiseworthy, well-liked name because the black cloud is the forerunner of the wonderful monsoon rains, which breaks the heat, which brings moisture and new life to the land. And so Karmeham is a very positive way of talking about what the black cloud brings with it, and thus greens the world. So I leave you with that thought that interchanging and understanding each other through our language, through our symbols, through our rituals, will help us all share and make richer the understandings that we have of the natural world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Beck, for being a pivotal part of the Multicultural Day. I thoroughly enjoyed this speech. It was so interesting, especially how moon and the sun is incorporated as symbolism into so much of like Tamil culture is so interesting being Tamil myself. So I definitely learned a lot and I hope everyone did as well. So thank you so much for that. And now we have, moving on, we have director Dr. Soni Rajan with a message for us today. So hello, Soni.
Hello, everyone. I'm Soni, and I'm on the board of directors for the Dancing Damsels organization. I would like to take this opportunity to wish all my viewers a very happy Multiculturalism Day. Today's world is working towards a better recognition and greater appreciation of multiculturalism in almost every aspect of our lives. Our homeland, Canada, honors the many cultural communities that enrich us and have helped build a strong and vibrant society. It aims to provide inclusion by appropriate representation of diverse cultures and promotes acknowledgement of the different cultural practices that are being celebrated all over the world. As we already know, we learn more from people who are different from us than we do from people who are similar to us. So on this Multiculturalism Day, we not only embrace Canadian diversity, but we also learn to respect the cultural differences that make this country unique and most lovable. Again, wish you all a very happy, colorful, and fabulous Multiculturalism Day. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajan, for the wonderful message. It's yours. Thank you so much. So moving on, we have a song for us here today. So Dr. Navneet Sharma is a neurologist and a pediatrician at Markham Streetville Hospital. And he's a singer, and we are so proud to present his collaboration with a singer, Julia Kingsbury, and a music director, Alok Marvin. And they will be presenting a mashup of Pasuri and Amasaria for your listening pleasure. So have fun and enjoy listening to this music.
तेरी मेरी गल होगी मशहूर, करना कभी तू मुझे नजरों से दूर। किथे चलिए तू, किथे चलिए तू, किथे चलिए, किथे चलिए। जानदा है दिल तो जानदी है तू, तेरे बिना मैं ना रहूं, मेरे बिना तू। किथे चलिए तू, किथे चलिए तू, किथे चलिए, किथे चलिए। काटू कैसे राता हो सांवरे, सांवरे। जिया नहीं जाता सुन बावरे के राता। Everybody wanna steal my guy, everybody wanna take his heart away. Couple billion in the whole wide world, find another one 'cause he belongs to me. Everybody wanna steal my guy, everybody wanna take his heart away. Couple billion in the whole wide world, find another one 'cause he belongs to me. तेरी मेरी गल होगी मशहूर, करना कभी तू मुझे नजरों से दूर। किथे चलिए तू, किथे चलिए तू, किथे चलिए, किथे चलिए। जानदा है दिल तो जानदी है तू, तेरे बिना मैं ना रहूं, मेरे बिना तू। किथे चलिए तू, किथे चलिए तू, किथे चलिए, किथे चलिए। काटू कैसे राता हो सांवरे, जिया नहीं जाता सुन बावरे। काटू कैसे राता हो सांवरे, जिया नहीं जाता सुन बावरे। Na na
Wow, that was so beautiful. Like that was amazing. That was a wonderful performance. I never imagined these songs to go well together. And as someone said, it's truly a cultural exchange for sure. It was so good. So thank you so much for that, Sharma. Thank you so much. And moving on, we have a few dignitary speeches. So before we completely head start into the program, so that's what we will be doing next. So we are extremely honored and thankful to all of our dignitaries for taking the time during their busy schedule to send us these videos. So up first, we're gonna have our Minister of Canadian Heritage and Quebec Lieutenant, the Honorable Pablo Rodriguez, to convey his greetings for the Multicultural Day celebration. So the Honorable Pablo Rodriguez.
Everyone, doesn't it feel great to be able to gather in person after 2 long years to connect and come together? That's what the Celebrate Canada Days are all about. A chance to learn from each other, find common ground, and build on shared values. A chance to work together to chart a path to a better Canada, a more inclusive, compassionate and prosperous Canada for all. Et le Canada, en fait, commence par la Journée nationale des peuples autochtones. C'est le 21 juin. Ça va être alors le moment tout indiqué pour manifester notre solidarité envers les Premières Nations, les Inuits, les Métis et nous renseigner sur leurs histoires, leur culture unique. Ensuite, c'est le 24 juin. On célèbre la Saint-Jean-Baptiste ou la Fête nationale du Québec et on va festoyer avec les quelques 10 millions de personnes qui vivent au Canada et qui parlent le français. Et puis, le 27 juin, on souligne la Journée canadienne du multiculturalisme. On célèbre alors les diverses communautés culturelles qui composent notre magnifique pays. Et toutes ces fêtes illustrent très bien certaines de nos plus grandes forces. Which brings me to July 1st. This year, on Canada Day, I invite you to reflect on what makes you proud to be Canadian, to learn the lessons of our past so we can build a brighter and future for all. And I hope you'll celebrate with your families and friends in the ways that you feel most meaningful to you. Kin Heritage is proud to contribute to the funding of close to 1,500 activities across the country to mark these days. Go take part in an event near you. Et peu importe la fête qui est la plus significative pour vous, je vous souhaite de passer de bons moments au Canada en fête.
Thank you so much, the Honorable Pablo Rodriguez, for that. Yes, for sure. It is very important to think about our past and be grateful for the things that we've been given and build, a better future, a more beautiful future. Thank you so much for that. So moving on, we have the Honorable Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, to provide us with a few words on multiculturalism. So the Honorable Doug Ford.
I want to extend greetings to everyone taking part in this year's celebration. Ontario is proud to be home to people from around the world who contribute to the success of our great province. Thank you to the fantastic team who organized this great event. While we may have roots in different lands, events like this help bring the community together to celebrate our country and everything that makes us so great. You're all absolute champions. Hope you all have a great time and happy Canada Day.
Thank you so much, the Honorable Doug Ford, for that. You're absolutely right. Although we do have different roots in different lands, we upbring this community beautifully as one, right? That's really beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for all the work that you do for the community. So up next, we have His Worship Gordon Krantz, the Mayor of Milton, to acknowledge the great work that is being done for upholding multiculturalism here in Canada. So for you, His Worship Gordon Krantz.
Krantz, Mayor of the town of Milton, and it gives me a great deal of pleasure to bring congratulations on behalf of Milton Council and of course including myself. Now I just want to acknowledge the work that's being done for multiculturalism, and again I'm well aware of what needs to be done to educate the population, not only in Milton, the region of Halton, but across this great country of ours, how important it is for the immigrant that comes to Canada, as well having women more involved in many activities. So sometimes the new immigrant to Canada is left out. There's not a lot of consideration. But Canada Day really is the day to up the game just a little wee bit to recognize those individuals that will make a contribution to this great nation of Canada. So happy Canada Day, everyone. Celebrate.
Thank you, His Worship Gordon Cramps, for those wonderful words. And it is honestly so important for immigrants, and they play a huge role here in Canada for sure. And thank you for the great work that you do for the community. Thank you so much. So up next, we have Mr. Paul Chung, the MP of Markham Unionville, to tell us about the importance of multiculturalism here. So here we go, Mr. Paul Chung, for here.
My name is Paul Chang. I'm the Member of Parliament for Markham Unionville, as well as the Parliamentary Secretary of Diversity and Inclusion. On behalf of the Government of Canada, it is my pleasure to bring greetings to this year's Multicultural Day celebrations. Canadian Multicultural Day honors the many cultural communities that help build a strong and vibrant Canada. This is an opportunity to celebrate the cultural diversity that enriches us collectively and reaffirms your commitment to equity, inclusion, and mutual respect. I would like to thank the Dancing Damsel Inc. for hosting this event and for the hard work they do in our community, promoting cultural exchanges and empowering women to succeed. This day represents the diversity and inclusion that Canada is all about, and I hope everyone enjoys this year's festivities. I wish you all the best and many more successful years to come. Thank you for inviting me. Take care.
Thank you for your kind words, MP Mr. Chung. We really appreciate everything you said about the importance of diversity, and especially how equity, inclusion, and mutual respect really takes a long way. Thank you so much for that. So up next, we have Mr. Sean Chen, MP of Scarborough North, to greet us for Multicultural Day. Mr. Sean Chen, MP.
Hello, this is Sean Chen, Member of Parliament for Scarborough North, and I'm pleased to bring greetings on this wonderful occasion of Multicultural Day celebrations organized by Dancing Damsels, an organization that works to promote multicultural arts and women's empowerment. This is a wonderful opportunity to bring the community together, to celebrate, to share, and witness the artistic talents of the performers, as well to support inclusion, diversity, and multiculturalism. I'd like to thank the organizers, the performers, and all those involved for this wonderful initiative, and I wish you a most successful event. Thank you for celebrating what brings us together, the incredible multiculturalism of our country. Happy Multiculturalism Day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sean Chen, for those beautiful words. Thank you for the greeting and sending us a video despite a very busy schedule. Thank you so much for that. And moving on, we have a dance performance here for us. And this dance performance will be presented by MCAO, the Mississauga Chinese Arts Organization. I am personally very excited to watch this dance performance and hope you are as well. So here we go, our dance performance by MCAO.
过天空尽头的角落，大雨在梦境的缝隙里流过，凝望你沉睡的轮廓，看海天一色，听风起雨落，执子手，吹散苍茫的烟波，大雨的翅膀已经太辽阔，我松开时间的绳索，看你飞远去，看你离我去，原来你生来就属于天际，每一滴泪水都向你流淌去，倒流回最初的相遇。Thank you so much for that performance. It was so graceful, so beautiful. It felt like they were floating. It was so pretty. And honestly, I'm very curious about the story that is being told behind this whole dance as well. So it was honestly so pretty. It was so pretty, so beautiful. And thank you, MCAO, for this beautiful performance of yours. So moving on, we have a few more dignitary speeches. And up next, we have Ms. Daisy Roy, the MPP of Richmond Hill, to talk to us about why diversity is key. So here we go. We have Ms. Daisy Roy, the MPP of Richmond Hill.
Good day, honored guests. I am Daisy White, Member of Provincial Parliament for Richmond Hill in Ontario. On behalf of Premier Ford and the entire government, I wish you a happy Canada Day as you celebrate the Multicultural Day. Diversity is Ontario's strength and a key element of our province identity. Our government supports and promotes the multiculturalism. When we uphold each other's cultures, not only can we live peacefully and harmoniously, it will also bring us this happy Canada, as well as prosperity to our province. We would like to thank the Board of Directors of Dancing Damsels Inc. for promoting multiculturalism through arts. What a great way to kick off our summer as we emerge from the pandemic. Thank you for hosting such a meaningful event, and I wish you an enjoyable and successful celebration. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, MPP Ms. Y. We can totally agree that diversity is indeed our strength, and living in unity will definitely give us, give our upcoming generations like better futures. And thank you so much for that speech. Moving on, we have MPP of Markham Unionville, Mr. Billy Pang, to share his greeting for Multicultural Day. Here we go, Mr. Billy Pang.
Hello, MPP Billy Pang for Markham Unionville here. I want to thank Dancing Damsels for inviting me to your Multicultural Day celebration. Ontario is home to a diverse and rich heritage and cultural communities. As one of the most diverse provinces in Canada, people from every corner of the globe call Ontario home, providing Ontarians with many opportunities to grow. This celebration is an excellent occasion for Ontarians to embrace Canada's multiculturalism and for members to showcase their culture and appreciation towards Canada's diversity. Ontario is built from the backs of hardworking Ontarians from different ethnicities and different cultures and traditions. As a government, we remain committed to removing barriers and creating the conditions for every community to thrive and prosper. Again, I want to thank Dancing Damsels for inviting me and for hosting this spectacular event. To all attendees, enjoy the celebration.
Thank you, MPP Mr. Billy Pang, for that. You are absolutely correct. Everyone calling Ontario home because it's so beautiful, and I do as well because I did find a new home after immigrating here, right? So it is honestly truly beautiful. So moving on, we have MPP of Oakville, Mr. T.S. Stephen Crawford, to come reading and tell us about how different cultures cohesively live in an area. So here we have MPP of Oakville, Mr. Stephen Crawford.
Hi, I'm Stephen Crawford, the Member of Provincial Parliament for Oakville. Multiculturalism Day offers a time to celebrate Ontario's diverse communities and the contributions of these communities. Oakville is so fortunate to have many communities that make up its fabric. Oakville's diverse communities include a vibrant Chinese community, Arab community, South Asian community, among others. It's an honor to recognize their contributions and the important role that they play in the community. These communities bring individuals together and keep them connected, which promotes an engaged society. The provincial government remains committed to funding local groups to encourage their participation. And I want to thank the organizers for allowing me to participate in these important celebrations, and I wish them continued success. Enjoy your day and have a wonderful summer.
Thank you so much, MPP Mr. Crawford, for that. It is truly beautiful how all of these different cultures are honored for the role they play in this community, right? It is so beautiful. So moving on, we have MPP of Markham Thornhill, Mr. Logan Kanapati, to greet us for Multiculturalism Day and tell us a bit about the history of it as well. So here we have MPP Logan Kanapati.
Oh, and thank you to the Dancing Damsel for doing such a great job with their wonderful multicultural organization in educating Canadians and empowering many people with this cultural event. It wasn't until 1971 that cultural diversity would be an official government policy, along with protecting the cultural freedom of all Canadians. The objective was to recognize the contribution of the diverse ethnic group in our society. By royal proclamation, the Government of Canada designated the June 27th of each year as a Canadian Multiculturalism Day on November 13, 2002. Having celebrated this day for 20 years now, it is honored that many communities that have contributed to the strong and vibrant Canadian society. In today's Canada, more than 250 ethnic groups are represented. As an MPP for Markham Thornhill, I am proud and comforted to say I represent one of the Canada's most diverse riding in all of Canada. It is our diversity that makes us strong. We must recognize the many contributions and sacrifices made by people from diverse cultures and the background to ensure that everyone can prosper in a fair and just society. Unfortunately, some Canadians continue to face some barriers based on their cultural background and the way they look. Despite this, it is my pleasure to assure you that our government is actively working on addressing the needs of these people while investing in diverse and inclusive organizations across Ontario. Please take this opportunity to celebrate the cultural diversity that enriches all. Ontario is a wonderful place to live in, and we should appreciate our differences and always accept them. This day helps empower all our communities and promote equity and inclusivity. Inclusion doesn't equal to tolerance. It is not about putting up with people who are different, but about full acceptance. Let's continue to connect, support, and love each other and celebrate together. Thank you.
Thank you, MPP, Mr. Kanapati, for that. You're absolutely correct. It is our diverse communities which makes us stronger, and it is so important to accept our differences and live unity as one. It is absolutely is correct. So moving on, we have another song for us by Swara Rao. And she is a full-time student, and she enjoys singing in various Indian languages and English. Here is a Kannada song called Sumane Suman, originally sung by Bombay Jayashree. By the way, Kannada is a language spoken in the southern part of India, in a state called Karnataka, and it happens to be Swara's mother tongue as well. So please watch his performance by Swara Rao, and hope you enjoy it.
ಇದ್ದರೂ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಪ್ರಾಣ ತಿಂತಾನೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿಲಿ ಗೆಲ್ತಾನೆ ನಖರ ನಖರ ಶಾನೆ ನಖರ ನಂಗೂ ಇಷ್ಟಾನೆ ನಾನು ಸಿರಿನರಿಗೆ ಹಾಕುವ ಗಳಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ ಬಳಿಗೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ ಯಾವ ಸೀಮೆ ಹುಡುಗ ತುಂಟಾಟ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ
Wow, that was such a beautiful piece I've sung. You were so expressive throughout, and it was so beautiful to hear. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm sure everyone did as well. Moving on, we have a few more dignitary speeches. And up first, we have MPP of Scarborough Southwest, Ms. Dolly Begum, who has a message on the importance of multiculturalism here for us. So let us listen to the speech of Ms. Dolly Begum.
Hello, this is Dolly Begum, your Member of Provincial Parliament for Scarborough Southwest. And it's my pleasure to recognize the amazing work that Dancing Damsels has been doing for our community and beyond to empower women, promote the arts, and uphold the values of Canada's multiculturalism. I want to thank all the organizers, all the volunteers for hosting this incredible virtual gathering to celebrate Canadian Multiculturalism Day and Canada Day. Canada Day is a time to come together with family, friends, and celebrate. But it's also a time to reflect on the dark history, a time to acknowledge the realities faced by Indigenous communities even today and work towards truth and reconciliation. We're all very lucky to be able to call Canada our home. And I know that organizations like Dancing Damsels work so hard every single day to recognize and celebrate the unique multiculturalism that makes Canada what it is. Thank you once again for all your hard work, and I wish you all a very happy Canada Day.
Thank you, MPP, Ms. Begum, for that. Something that we really need to take away from her words is that we need to take time to reflect on the dark histories and acknowledge the realities that were faced by our Indigenous communities. And that was so well said. Thank you so much, Ms. Begum, for that. And moving on, we have Mr. Vincent Kay, the Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Heritage, Support, Tourism, and Cultural Industries to convey his warmest greetings. So here we have Mr. Vincent Kay.
Hello everyone, I'm Vincent Kerr, the Member of Provincial Parliament for Don Valley North. I would like to begin by saying a heartfelt thank you for Dancing Dancers Inc. for inviting me to be a part of your meaningful and astounding Multicultural Day celebration. It is my honor and pleasure to recognize and give thanks to all the staff, volunteers, performers, and attendees involved in organizing and presenting this year's celebration. It is your unique vision of promoting women empowerment, arts, and multiculturalism. Your joint efforts and dedication that bring everyone together to enjoy the high-level performance and to honor our rich heritage and cultural diversity. As proud Canadians that come from all the world, O Canada, our national anthem, reminds us that we all belong. And it is people like you who make Canada the best it can be. On behalf of the residents of Don Valley North, I once again thank you for all your hard work to promote and uphold multiculturalism through this wonderful celebration. I wish every one of you health, happiness, and good fortune in all your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, MPP, Mr. Vincent K, for that beautiful message. We should all keep in mind that everyone is playing a beautiful part in this multicultural country that is Canada. Thank you so much for that speech again. And moving on, we have MPP of Scarborough North, Mr. Raymond Cho, to talk about the strength of cultural communities. So here we have the MPP of Scarborough North, Mr. Raymond Cho.
Hello, Dancing Damsels. I'm Raymond Cho, MPP for Scarborough North. I'm so glad to welcome you all participating in today's Canada Multicultural Day. It is a marvelous opportunity for us to showcase the strength and resilience of our diverse cultural communities. As an immigrant myself, I know firsthand how important diversity is to Canadian society. Our diversity is a source of great strength for our country. As a province and the country, we strive to include those from all walks of life. While it's not perfect, we are still a shining beacon to those around the world who are fighting for their basic human dignities. Dancing Damsels has done a great job of providing inclusive, family-oriented events for our communities. Your programming and activities helps us to come together as a community and benefit from the diversity of our cultural backgrounds. I wish you all good health and happiness and hope you will enjoy today's cultural program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, MPP Mr. Cho, for taking your time to send us this video. And thank you for all the work that you do for the community. So moving on, we have a panel discussion set up. So this panel discussion is going to be about immigration from a youth perspective. And to present this, we have Stephanie Markovich, Venus Patty, and myself. So stay tuned and watch this panel discussion. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for investing your time with us. As you may already know, my name is Sahana, and I'll be leading this panel discussion today. So today we have an amazing panel set up to talk about immigration from a youth perspective. So we will be talking about our experiences migrating from another country to here and the struggles we face and how we ultimately found our new home here. So before we begin the proper panel discussion, I would like to give you a brief summary of what the format is going to be like. So first, I will take a few moments to introduce each of the panelists. Then I will kickstart the conversation, asking questions to gain more insight about this topic. And then finally, we'll wrap the back and forth conversation between the panelists and conclude the segment. So if that sounds good, we can move ahead. So first we have Stephanie Markovich. She was born in Israel and moved here to Canada when she was 6 years old. She's very passionate about technology, advancing medicine, and that is why she's pursuing her bachelor's degree in medical physics. Her interests include listening to music, dancing, playing piano, learning new instruments, reading books, especially classics, and working out. So then we have Venus Patty. She was born in France and moved here to Canada at the age of 3. She is currently obtaining her honors degree in biology with a double minor in French and business. She's very passionate about science and psychology and understanding how the mind works. She also loves learning about different cultures. Her interests include riding, bike, jogging, reading, working out, volunteering, watching documentaries, and dancing. So thank you so much for joining us today. And let's start with the panel discussion. Does that sound good? Okay, perfect. So question 1, which is going to be very light, like on a light note. If you could recollect, what was your first thing that you noticed when you stepped into Canada? Starting off with you, Steph.
Yeah, so I think going into Canada, I knew the alphabet, like the English alphabet, and I knew the word stop. So I think the first thing I noticed was that they weren't speaking a language I knew. Like I was like, oh, I know the alphabet and I know the word stop, and I don't hear those. That's what I noticed.
I completely agree, because when I came here from India, like English sounded different, and I was like, wow.
Exactly.
So moving on to Venus, what about you?
Since I moved to Canada very young, I don't recollect anything. I don't have any memories. But what I will say is that within the first year after I moved to Canada, I remember like living in Montreal and dressing as a dinosaur for Halloween. So that's all I remember from this experience. Yeah.
Yeah, like Halloween would have been like completely new here, right? Because it's not a thing in France. Yeah.
Right.
So honestly, for me, when I came here, I was very shocked by the amount of sky that I saw, which is so weird because like there's so many buildings and I couldn't like see as much of sky I was able to see when I got out of the airport, which is such a weird thing. But that was the first thing I noticed. So moving on to the second question. Everyone faces a lot of struggles when they start like a new venture, but overcoming these struggles are like the major part of it, and then you find the satisfaction in it as well, right? So initially, when I first moved here, I felt alone. I don't know if it was like the cultural shock or like being in a new country without anyone else, but like it took time to settle in. But then I found this beautiful community, right? So what were some of your struggles when you first came here, as an immigrant? So you can start off, Venus.
Okay. So one of my biggest struggles was to learn English. Because I'm a native French speaker, being introduced to English was so difficult, particularly in grade 4. And I was made fun of by my peers. And so I felt really ashamed to speak it publicly, and I feared to be judged, and I wanted to fit in. So it was really hard for me to do so. And they would highlight my differences as well. So I was bullied in primary school for the way I dressed, for the way I talked, for the way I acted, and people used to touch my hair without my consent and make remarks about it. So it was very difficult for me.
I completely understand because I remember once in grade 6, a girl came up to me and she was like, "Can you talk just like us, like normally?" I'm like, "What do you mean normally? I'm talking normally." Yeah, so I completely understand, Venus. I understand. What about you, Steph?
Yeah, also has to do with like knowing English as well as the other kids. Like I remember reading a Scooby-Doo book in grade 2 with some friends, and there's this character named Daphne, except with my knowledge of the English language, I was like I was calling her Daphne. And everyone was like, "But it's Daphne, just like Stephanie." And I'm like, "But my name ends with an IE and not just an E." So I was confused, right? And I just remember them laughing at me for that. And I think right now too, like there are some words I still don't know, and there's slang, especially slang. Like there's definitely some things I just don't understand in terms of slang. Another thing is sometimes I'll just do things that are like related to my culture. And sometimes people are like, "I don't get it. Like, why do you do that?" Right? And they're like, "Why?" Like they just don't get it. But I do notice some people are actually interested in it. And they're like, "That's cool that you do that." So, there's some sides too.
Yeah, like especially the culture part, like doing things differently. Yeah. Like I am sometimes even I explain like my culture to you guys, so like you guys totally get it. And also about the pronunciation. I remember taking the medical terminology class with Venus, and both of us we pronounced every single thing differently than the professor. We're like, "How is it different?" Yeah.
Right.
Moving on to the next question. It kind of connects to the one that we just talked about. What is like one thing that you wish everyone was doing to make immigrants like us feel more welcomed here? So you can start off, Steph.
Okay, sounds good. So kind of related to what I was just telling about how I pronounce the name Daphne. I think something to make us feel more welcome is, like we're bound to make mistakes in pronunciation, just like what we talked about. And I think a really important thing is not to make fun of us for doing that. It's kind of just like, just be nice about it. Be like, in a really nice way, be like, "Okay, like this is how I would pronounce," or like, in a way that doesn't hurt the person who has mispronounced a word. Like sometimes it's fun to laugh with the other person, and I get that, but sometimes jokes can be hurtful. So just, I think with people being mindful of how they joke about it, I think that's something.
For sure it is. It's like trying to teach you, or is such a better way of doing it than like making fun of you.
Yeah.
I understand.
Exactly.
I agree.
What about you, Venus?
Well, For me, it would be I wish that people were more open minded because it's already very difficult for immigrants to adopt a new culture, new values, a different language. And usually, like immigrants move to Canada because they want a better future for their children or they want to have access to better opportunities. So we want to make it as easy as possible for them. And we want to make sure that the transition is as smooth as possible. So I think being open-minded is one of the most important things that I wish people had.
That is so true. Yeah, just like being welcoming and being just the acceptance is so important.
For sure. And like
Yeah.
showing an interest, maybe even like, oh, like asking
Yeah.
questions like, how about you in your culture? Like, how do you do this? Or something like that. I think that's
For
really
sure.
cool.
Just like without just assuming, at least like trying to learn is so much better.
Right.
And it's just like
For sure.
learning comes with like acceptance, and it's just so much better and like such a better society that way.
Definitely.
That's true.
So moving on to the next question. So what is one thing that you learned in the process of adjusting here in Canada? Yeah. So you can start off, Venus.
Well, I learned that I could be Canadian and still celebrate and embrace my culture and my roots. Like for the longest time, I don't know why, but I thought that in order to be like to fit in the society, I had to like give up my roots, give up my culture, and just like replace it. And that's not what it like that's not what Canada is all about. And we're all about embracing our cultures and celebrating everybody's culture. So that took me a while to understand, you know?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Because like sometimes you don't think that everyone understands you, and that's where you think, oh, I need to fit in because they don't understand me. But it takes time. It takes time to understand that you know it's like cohesively living together. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
What
like,
about you, Steph?
yeah, for sure. For me, I think what I realized is you need to have a strong support system because you will face challenges along the way. And I think just having like family or friends who either have gone through the experience or are going through it with you, I think that's really important. And it just helps you kind of adjust to where you are living. So.
Exactly. And honestly, for me too, like finding the right friends and like finding like even family friends who are in the same path as me was so much better for me because like I didn't feel as alone, right?
Exactly.
And yeah, for me, one thing that I learned in this process was the self-confidence because when I came from India to Canada, India to Canada, I was a very extroverted person, and then I became like completely introverted and did not talk much, right? So it was like telling myself, it's like, I'm not different. I'm just like part of everyone else. Like, I don't need to fit in. I just like need to be more confident. And that confidence made me more extroverted and made me talk to you guys today and make like, become friends and everything. So I think that's one of the things that I learned in this process for sure. And I'm very thankful for that. So moving on to the next question. So what does multiculturalism mean to you? And I know we did touch upon this a bit, but then what does it mean to you and how do you think Canada exhibits it? So starting off with you, Steph.
I think in general, multiculturalism is like a coming together of people of different walks of life, different backgrounds. It doesn't matter, like people who are different, right? But they just find that like the sameness in each other, if that makes sense. It's like, I don't know, it's just like a really beautiful, it's hard to explain, but it's just this really beautiful like community that's formed between different people. And I think that's just amazing. And Canada, like the way Canada shows that is, we know that Toronto is one of the most diverse cities in the world. I think that's just a really good example of that. Like we have all kinds of like, for example, I'm going to use food as an example, but we have all kinds of restaurants like from all different cuisines. And I think that's so cool that you can you go to like a different street and you find like this random cuisine from one place, one culture, one country. You go to this just down the street, there's like something completely different. And I think that's just amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Like experiencing a different culture, starting with food and like movies, the best way to experience another culture. And I completely agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
and multiculturalism is so hard to explain because you cannot just like define it just like in a dictionary, right? It has like with emotion and everything. Yeah. So what about you, Venus?
I totally also agree. Like I agree with like what Stephanie just said right now. Like it's like a celebration of like different cultures. And also I do, however, believe that there's certain rural areas in Canada that are not exposed to to a lot of cultures. So it can be quite difficult for them to be more open-minded to different cultures. And it's not their fault. It's not to bash anyone or say anything. It's just that they haven't been exposed to like a lot of cultures, so like they might be a little bit apprehensive of some cultures.
Yeah, I completely agree with that because at least our generation, we are exposed to different cultures at school, and our schools have these like heritage months and like talent shows where they bring in like other cultures, and we even have like these international food days where they like bring in food from other cultures. And some people who are not exposed to these things or like live in a different area, they completely don't like experience this, right?
Right.
And I would say they're really missing out.
Definitely.
They are.
Yeah. And moving on to like a follow-up question, I would say. So at what moment did you feel at home in Canada? So starting off with Steph.
Well,
you can Venus. Venus go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, for me personally, I felt most at home when I was hanging out with people who were sharing the same racial background as me. The reason why is because we share similar cultures, similar values, and we understand the struggles that we go through. And I think I feel the most safe within my community. And that makes sense. Everybody feels safe within their own community, but also like having friends from different cultures and like all sharing like the same story of being immigrants, like it's amazing because like we understand each other. We understand that it wasn't easy to adapt, and like they understand the struggles, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I've had like many conversations about this with Venus, and yeah, and the conversation is endless. Like every single time, sometimes like the conversation always just like ends up there, and we just like talk about it for a bit, and we're like, oh, we were talking about something else.
Sure. And one thing I think we can all relate to as immigrants, our families go to Costco.
Oh yeah,
yes, great deals. Are you kidding? Like these are the best deals.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my mom, she waits until like even if like something's empty, she's like, wait, like no, we have to go to Costco and get this. Yeah. My mom would rather like live without it than like buy it from somewhere else.
Yeah. Costco is the place to go.
It's the place. It really is.
But yeah.
Yeah, what about you, Steph?
Yeah. I think for me, I felt like at home when I realized that everyone deep down is a human. I think like we all want the same like basic things in life and need the same things, like love, shelter, like all of those things. Even as a kid, like I realized even in grade 1, I came to Canada in grade 1, right? And I realized we all want to play on the playground. We all want to build a snowman. We all want to go catch grasshoppers. And I think maybe when I was that young, I didn't understand that idea of like we're all human, but I just knew like, oh, we're all alike, that kind of thing. And I felt at home once I was like, you're basically like we're all the same, but like not the same, but deep down we all want the same. We have the same values, some of the same core values. And I think that's
for sure. Like because like the whole like saying about like under our flesh we just all look the same kind of thing under skin. It's just the same idea for sure. Yeah. Honestly, for me, I felt at home when I went to high school and I met like people who are very similar to me because like until then I was very introverted and I completely changed as a person in high school. And I'm very thankful for those people. And I feel like that's when I felt at home because they made me feel like I was at home and like family. So I would say I'm very thankful to them forever. So moving on to the final question, to like wrap everything up, what is like one practical advice you would give someone who's like starting out here and who's like new immigrants here? And we can start with Steph.
I think one like really short take-home message is be you, like be yourself it doesn't matter like what other people think. I think the people who actually matter will love you for who you are and will accept you for who you are.
For
You
sure.
need to accept yourself first. And the way to do that is to just be yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I completely understand because just like you have to embrace yourself with like I would say without any restrictions,
Right.
and then like people will accept you like just like that, and they should. If not, they're not. I would say they're not like completely worth it to spend time for.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what about you, Venus?
I think we all thought of the same thing because, like, that's literally what I was gonna say. Like, like I know it sounds cliche, but it's true. Like, you shouldn't compromise yourself for like to fit into like a mold or like to fit societal norms. Like, be yourself, and the right people will love you for you. Like, I know it sounds repetitive, but it's true.
That's
you know?
true.
No, that's completely true. Yeah, because when I was going to like say, I was thinking of something to tell, and that was exactly what I wanted to say as well.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just like be yourself, and people will love you for who you are,
Yeah.
and they should. Yeah.
Don't fit into a mold. As Venus said,
Exactly.
create your own.
Yeah, create your own mold. Yeah.
Right. I love this. I love this.
Your own mold. Like, I think it's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you so much, guys, for being a part of this panel discussion. I had a lot of fun to like do this kind of
Me
thing with
too,
you
me
because
too.
I don't think I got the chance before. So I'm very happy about it. And I would say like one takeaway from this would be like despite the struggles and despite the downfalls, like seeing the people around you appreciate you for who you are, right? Like creating your own mold and
Yes.
celebrating each
Right.
other's cultures was like definitely the big part. It's also like eye-opening because like that's when you find your own place in Canada. And I'm very thankful for the multicultural I would say aspect of Canada and everything. So, and I would say
Right.
we are just like a couple of examples of like people who benefited from celebrating multiculturalism here. And there's like lots and lots of more stories and like more beginnings, right? And I'm really
Right.
thankful for that, and thankful for you guys, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I really enjoyed. Like, I'm really happy you asked me to be part of this panel.
Yeah, me too. I'm so shocked and flattered.
Yeah, me too. It's really nice.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching the panel discussion. I personally had so much fun filming this because I've been friends with them for years now, but we've never had this type of conversation and this type of panel discussion ever, right? Because that type of scenario never happened, and I'm very thankful for that and thankful that I was able to do it. And I hope you guys all enjoyed. And except the sun that was on my face, I'm sure everything else was great about this panel discussion. So thank you guys so much for watching. And now we have a song by Vani Natarajan. And she's a 16-year-old musician, singer, dancer, and a martial artist. She studies at Mayfield Secondary School as a grade 10 vocal major. She is currently a part of the Rosebuds Orchestra as a violinist and Magnetics Vocal Choir as a violinist. And she's also working as an assistant teacher at the Swaravani Music School and as an executive producer of film and video for the Vedanta Cultural Foundation of Canada. She's very talented and has received the Honors Roll Award and Music Award from Mayfield Secondary School. She's been performing for many organizations across GTA. And so join me for welcoming Vani Natarajan, and please watch this and have fun.
My name is Vani Natarajan. Today I'll be singing Amarini Mia Bella, an Italian song by Giulio Caccini. I hope you enjoy.
Dolce
trae escrito en cobre.
Wow, that was so good. Thank you so much, Vani, for that beautiful piece of yours. You definitely made my first time listening to an Italian song memorable. Thank you so much for that. And moving on, we have a few more dignitary speeches. So up next, we have Councillor of Toronto City, Ms. Cynthia Lai, to share us a few words about empowering women from different walks of life. So here we go, Councillor of Toronto City, Ms. Cynthia Lai.
Hello, I'm Cynthia Lai, Toronto City Councillor for Ward 23 Scarborough North. I wish to extend my warmest welcome to everyone attending the Multicultural Celebration Day virtually today, hosted by Dancing Damsels. Each year, Dancing Damsels honor women who possess vision, innovation, entrepreneurship, leadership, individuality, and tenacity with awards. The awards are conferred to exceptional women who have excelled in their field of work or made a significant contribution to their communities through voluntary services. I wish to share my experience and struggles as a businesswoman and a female politician. I have attributed my success to the advice of my mother. Don't do just what you are assigned to do. It is that extra mile you go that makes the difference. Look, we are women. Look at what we have accomplished. We are the hands that rock the cradles, and we shape the future. We women are an awesome force, and we do not wish to be ignored, subjugated, or deprived of. I take this opportunity to thank Mary Ashok, Managing Director, and the Board of Directors of Dancing Damsels, sponsors, staff, volunteers, for their dedication and tireless efforts in organizing today's event. Congratulations to the award winners and wishing you all continued success.
Thank you, Councillor Lai, for that beautiful speech of yours. You're such an inspiration for all of us, and your message really touched all of our hearts. Thank you so much for that. So moving on, we have Councillor of Toronto City, Ms. Jennifer McKelvey, here to tell us about how diverse the city of Toronto is while greeting us for Multicultural Day. Here we have the Councillor of Toronto City, Ms. Jennifer McKelvey.
Multiculturalism Day. Toronto represents the very best of Canada. Canadians across the country and families around the world gravitate to our city because this is a place where diversity and inclusion are not only celebrated, they're seen as a source of strength. The rich culture, traditions, and creativity entrenched in our neighborhoods allow us to do great things together. Whether it's planning fun festivals, empowering entrepreneurs, or taking action to protect our environment, together we're shaping a Toronto which supports everyone. Initiatives like our Toronto for All ensure we continue cultivating opportunities which give everyone the tools to succeed. So whether you're celebrating with your family or friends, I'd like to wish you a happy Multiculturalism Day.
Thank you so much, Councillor Ms. McKelvey. You're absolutely correct. Building an initiative together for providing opportunities for everyone and building a better community is so important. Thank you so much for that speech, viewers. So next up, we have the honorary patron of Dancing Damsels, Dr. Usha Seth. She's a Canadian politician and doctor. She's known for being the first Indo-Canadian female to be appointed to the Senate of Canada for Ontario in 2012. In 2010, Dr. Seth was one of the recipients of the top 25 Canadian Immigrant Awards presented by Canadian Immigrant Magazine and the 2015 Lifetime Achievement Award presented by Dancing Damsels. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Asha Seth.
I'm very proud to say today that I live in a great country, Canada, which is the most diverse country in the world. So Multiculturalism Day is an honor to celebrate this auspicious occasion with the many cultural communities that help build a strong, vibrant Canadian society and reaffirm our commitment to equity, inclusion, and mutual respect. So, my friend, my story starts from here. I had to face a lot of barrier as a visible minority. Being international medical doctor, had to finish my more resident program, training, examination, and during this time of transition and training, I faced many barriers and obstacles, but I had to work hard to overcome the stigma of being an immigrant professional with my young children at home. So, my friend, carving your path in a new society is always difficult regardless of your origin. I had already found a deep desire to help and support others in their journeys. The support and trust of my community, family is what gave me the strength to push through the obstacle of being a young mother, a newcomer, and an entrepreneur. So today, my friend, being a visible minority, it is a great honor for me to represent women, especially Indo-Canadian women, in the highest political stage in Canada, and now continue as a mentor to young women aspiring to make a positive difference through politics. So, my friends, my advice will be educate and motivate immigrants to Canada and assist them in their newfound journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Asha Seth, for being our honorary patron and sharing your thoughts about multiculturalism here in Canada and women empowerment. And you're truly such an inspiration for all of us. Thank you so much. So moving on, we have our community leaders. Dancing Damsels works in partnership with many community organizations for their events. And they are very supportive for us. And we are pleased to receive greetings from some of their leaders on this wonderful occasion today. So first up, we have Mr. Nataraja Murthy, the Secretary, Senior Tamil Society of Peel, here to share his greetings.
எல்லோருக்கும் என் வணக்கம். என் பெயர் நடராஜமூர்த்தி. நான் ஒரு தமிழன். ஸ்ரீலங்காவில் பிறந்து கனடாவில் கடந்த 35 வருடங்களாக என் குடும்பத்துடன் வாழ்கின்றேன். இங்கு எனது தமிழ் பண்பாட்டை சுதந்திரமாக கடைப்பிடிக்க முடிகின்றது. கனடாவின் அதாவது மல்டிகல்ச்சரலிசம் பல்லின பண்பாட்டு கொள்கைகளை நான் வரவேற்கின்றேன். இந்த கொள்கை உலகமயமாதலுக்கு பெருந்துணை புரிகின்றது. 1971 ஆண்டில் அதிகாரபூர்வ பன்முக கலாச்சார கொள்கையை நிறுவிய உலகின் முதல் நாடு கனடா ஆகும். கனடாவின் கலாச்சார கொள்கைகளை பல கனடியர்கள் ஆதரித்தார்கள். அத்துடன் கனடாவின் பன்முக கலாச்சார கொள்கை முன்னோடியாகவும் பயனுள்ளதாகவும் சர்வதேச அங்கீகாரத்தை பெற்றுள்ளது. கனடாவில் இந்திய கலைகளையும் கலாச்சாரத்தையும் வளர்க்கும் டான்சிங் டம்செல்ஸ் நிறுவனத்துக்கு பீல் முதியோர் சங்கத்தின் சார்பில் எனது வாழ்த்துக்களை தெரிவிக்கின்றேன். வணக்கம்.
Thank you so much, Mr. Natarajamurthy, for that speech. Truly honored. Moving on, we have Cynthia Chow, the leader dancer of the Mississauga Chinese Art Association, to share her greetings for Multicultural Day.
Hello everyone, I'm Cynthia Chow, representing the Mississauga Chinese Arts Organization, sending the warmest wishes, greetings to everyone who take part in the Didi Dance Cultural Day celebration. 我代表密西沙达华人艺术团在这里祝贺 Didi Dance 的多元文化節圓滿成功。好慶幸加拿大係一個多元文化嘅國家，各族裔嘅包容共處，令到我哋可以喺呢一度安居樂業，養育下一代。Happy Cultural Day, Didi Dance!
Thank you so much, Cynthia Chow, for that speech. Really honored. And moving on, we have a speech from Ronit Eisenman, the principal choreographer and dancer of New Koda Israeli dance troupe, to share her greetings for Multicultural Day.
Shalom friends, my name is Ronit Eisenman, the director of Nirkoda Israeli dance groups. I'm delighted to bring greetings on behalf of the Jewish and Israeli communities of Toronto. The people of Israel come from many countries, cultures, and traditions, and Israeli folk dance expresses this colorful diversity. Likewise, in Canada, the respect for all cultures translates into a rich and diverse mosaic of folk dancing, reflecting the many ethnic communities that together make up Canadian society. I hope that we will continue to celebrate our multiculturalism in Canada for many years to come. לחיים. שלום ידידיי, שמי רונית אייזנמן, מנהלת להקות מכון נרקודה, ואני מתכבדת לשאת ברכות בשם הקהילה היהודית והישראלית בטורונטו. תושבי ישראל מגיעים מארצות רבות ומביאים עמם תרבויות שונות ומסורות מגוונות. ריקודי העם הישראלים נותנים ביטוי לרבגוניות הזאת. גם בקנדה הכבוד שאנו רוחשים לכל התרבויות מתבטא בפסיפס הרבגוני של הקהילות של ריקודי העם הקנדיות. לסיום, אני מאחלת לקנדה ולכולנו עוד שנים רבות לחגוג את רב התרבותיות שלנו. לחיים.
Thank you so much, Ron Eisenman, for that greetings. So moving on, we're going to have a video montage. And this montage was created by the summer job students of Dancing Damsels. So this montage focuses on exhibiting the beautiful international dance forms, along with a little bit of history of multiculturalism and the International Dance Festival. So please watch and enjoy.
John Murray Gibbons' 1938 book, Canadian Mosaic, The Making of the Northern Nation, was the primary milestone for the beginning of multiculturalism. After the formation of the Federal Ministry of Multiculturalism in 1969, Canada's multiculturalism policy was officially adopted 2 years later in 1971. This policy acknowledges that Canadians come from various cultural backgrounds, and all of these different cultures have intrinsic values. This marks the official beginning of multiculturalism in Canada. Now, let us look into what multiculturalism is and how it plays a role in the betterment of the society. Multiculturalism is when people of different races, nationalities, religions, ethnicities, and philosophies come together to live in a community. It is important because it preserves the cultural freedom of an individual and it provides the proper attention a culture deserves. The constant exposure to people of other cultures allows us to learn a lot about each other's backgrounds and reflects upon our similarities and differences. The growth of knowledge about cultures allows us to accept them. This helps us to understand each other and demoralizes hatred and violence. Dancing Damsels has supported multiculturalism through various events since day one, and we still continue to do so. One of our major upcoming events that celebrate the dance forms of different cultures is our International Dance Festival. Our goal is to promote cultural integration, intercultural understanding, gender empowerment, and interconnected society. This event is a perfect blend of both entertainment and education, and we strongly recommend everyone to keep an eye out for this event. With the support of the community and sponsors, we have organized 9 successful dance festivals showcasing all world dance forms on one stage. It initially emerged as Didi Dance Fest in 2014, and its name was later changed to Toronto International Dance Festival in 2016. Each year, about 25 to 30 dance companies and 100 to 150 dancers participate in the dance festival. On top of that, opportunities are given to many volunteers who wish to exercise their skills, and it also provides a unique platform for community organizations and businesses for networking and building relationships. We will host a free virtual workshop on October 16, 2022, a free in-person and online if required workshops on October 17, 2022, and finally, the Toronto International Dance Festival will be held on October 23, 2022 at the Chinese Cultural Centre of Greater Toronto. For more information on this event, please visit www.tdifcanada.com. The full-day event will also offer a variety of activities such as talk shows, press meets, performances, interactive sessions, demos, and workshops. I'm very much excited about these events and mainly to watch these performances and learn about the cultures, dance forms and songs, and much more, and hope you are as well. So let's think about it this way. A big pot of soup consists of various ingredients of different kinds. However, they stay together and are consumed together. And that is a perfect example of multiculturalism because people of different walks of life live in unity while overcoming hardships and meeting successes together.
Wow, those dances and the costumes all look so beautiful. I totally enjoyed watching it. And so keep an eye out for our upcoming International Dance Festival event. And I hope to see you guys all there.
Well, great. Thanks, Sahana. And I hope everybody is still enjoying today's presentation for Canadian Multicultural Day. Now, the reason I popped up on the stage is just to give a little bit of background of what's happening next. Sahana, do you know what's happening next?
I'm very much excited to watch what's happening next because I know it. I'm very much excited.
Okay, great. So, Sahana, this is a dance. It's a collaborative effort. This was a fun collaborative effort between Dancing Damsels and Tonatiuh, Mexican folklore group. They are based out of Toronto. Now, this is a song from a very popular Indian or a Tamil movie called Beast. So the moment I heard this song, it reminded me of all the Mexican folklore that I've been watching year after year at the Toronto International Dance Festival. So immediately I called up our good friend Luz Castillo and asked if she would be interested in a fun collaboration. And that's how this all started. So what we basically did was use the Mexican folklore dance steps to Indian beats. And there were so many things we learned from each other in the sense, when we look at the Mexican dance, you only see pretty costumes and you know how it moves from one to the other. But in reality, when we wear those costumes, it's pretty heavy. It's a lot of cloth. And there is a technique how to flip use your wrist and flip to get that different floral designs from the skirts. And it wasn't as easy as it seems. The group does it so effortlessly, but we did have to spend a few days to actually master the simple steps that Luz so beautifully spent time putting together for us. So thanks so much, Luz Castillo, for your beautiful choreography and also for providing the wonderful costumes. And also thank you to Umesh Anavkar for capturing the moments so beautifully and compiling the video for us. Big thanks to our dancers, Archana, Apurva, Varsha, and Alexa. The credits for this song goes to the creator, Anirudh Ravichandran, and the production team of the movie Beast. So folks, I hope you enjoy our presentation, a fun cultural integration and collaboration between Mexican folklore and Dancing Damsels. Looks like a small technical glitch.
பயமுறுத்தி பார்த்தாலும் அசராம சிரிச்சாம ஒதுங்கி போவாண்டா அத்தனையும் போனாலும் எம்டியா தான் நின்னாலும் பதறாம இருந்தாட பீஸ்ட் நீ தாண்டா ராவம்மா ஹே ராவம்மா ஜாலியா ஜிங்கானா ராசம்மா ஹே ராசம்மா கேடுங்கானா ராவம்மா ஹே ராவம்மா ஜாலியா ஜிங்கானா ராசம்மா ஹே ராசம்மா சொன்னது சரிதானா சரிதானா
सरदापा
ஜாலியா ஜிங்கானா ஜாலியா ஜிங்கானா ரொம்ப தயங்கி நிக்கிறிய ரொம்ப பார்த்து ஓடுறிய ஐயோ ஒன்ன நீயே குறைச்சி எடை போட்டு பாக்குறிய சும்மா வெயிட்ட காட்டணும்டா நம்ம மோதி பார்க்கணும்டா நண்பா எவன் வந்தாலும் வளர விட்டு கெத்த காட்டணும்டா கையில தான் நீ பிடிச்சாலே பிரச்சனை தீராதே தூக்கியத நீ எரிஞ்சாலே டென்ஷன் ஏறாதே ஊருக்கு தான் நீ பயந்தாலே வேலைக்கு ஆவாதே யாருக்குமே நீ அடங்காத வெற்றிய விடாதே புலம்புறவன் தமாசு எது தின்னு நான் நீ மாசு மனசில் ஒண்ணு நினைச்சாது நடத்தணும் நண்பா ஒரு முறைதான் தொட்டாலே மேல கைதான் வச்சாலே திருப்பி அத கொடுத்தாத பீஸ்ட் நீ தாண்டா ராவம்மா ஹே ராவம்மா ஜாலியா ஜிங்கானா ராசம்மா ஹே ராசம்மா கேடுங்கானா ராவம்மா ஹே ராவம்மா ஜாலியா ஜிங்கானா ராசம்மா ஹே ராசம்மா சொன்னது சரிதானா சரிதானா சரிதான்ப்பா ஜாலியா ஜிங்கானா ஜாலியா ஜிங்கானா
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. We certainly had a lot of fun filming that, and thank you guys for watching. Well, Sahana, now it's time to announce the winners of our recent Father Day photo contest. Do you guys want to see the pictures? Yeah? Okay, here we go. Well, it was a great show. It was a great show of affection, love, gratitude, and respect for all the loving fathers through the competitive spirit and enthusiasm shown by the contestants. It was a nail-biting finish, but one contestant was clearly the winner. So let's start by announcing the second runner-up. Drum roll. The second runner-up is Anup Chand. The first runner-up was Manoj Jacob. And the winner for the 2022 Father's Day photo contest with the maximum number of emojis, likes, and loves was Lalish Chandran. Kudos. Well, Sahana, we come to the end of the program, and no words can actually express my gratitude to everyone who contributed towards this event, and you, great audience, for taking the time to watch our show as well. Thank you, Sahana, for hosting today's program with Ilan. Wish you all the best in all your future endeavors. Folks, Canada is really a country, the land of free. However, going by recent times, only a handful of folks is enough to make a decision that can affect the lives of millions of people. So let's work together, irrespective of our beliefs or cultures, to keep Canada better for our future. So with that, I would like to say good day to everyone, and please enjoy all the multicultural festivities our city has to offer during this weekend. Happy Canada Multiculturalism Day. Bye from Dancing Damsels.